Hi guys, this is going to be a comparison of the Nikon D600 on the left, okay, and the D7100 on the right. It's only going to be a quick physical comparison. I'm going to apologise straight away for the video quality and the shakiness. I'm actually recording this on a Galaxy S3 because both of my cameras are here, as you can see. Okay, so size-wise, there's my cat in the background, Chloe. Size-wise, you can see they're very similar. Okay, the D600 is slightly higher. Excuse the finger in the frame. The D600 is slightly higher, slightly wider, and if we look from the top, pretty much the same depth. Very slightly, this bit here you can see is just slightly sticking out. Now, one thing you will notice, if you look at the D7100 there, that's the flash and the pentaprism box, or viewfinder box, and on the, let me come around this side, on the D600 it's noticeably bigger. It's the D600, D7100. Okay, let me turn these round. If you look at the mode dials, if you look at the controls, everything's very similar. Very similar. Here we go. So, same button layout. You've got your exposure modes, you've got your video recording mode, exposure compensation, your one quick flick switch for on, dial here. Okay, same LCD. You'll notice here, okay, on the D600, exactly the same dials. Okay, let's come around behind it so it looks like you're shooting it, because that's, I know, how everyone wants to see the camera. Okay, they've both got the same little lock on the mode dials. Okay, so this is the D600 on the left, D7100 on the right. Okay, now what you'll notice on the D7100 is this, the FX mode. Let me just focus that. FX mode. Okay, and that's missing from the D600. You do have the scene mode, so you can put in like landscape scene, night photography, you know, the basic settings, macro, all these sorts of things. But apart from that, they're very similar. They've both got U1 and U2 mode, so you can save your settings. So I tend to set U1 up as landscape and U2 up as portraits. I usually set it up with a little bit of a faster shutter speed so that I can grab shots quite quickly on the go. They've both got the same level of weather sealing, I think, pretty much. They seem about the same. They've got the protector on the top for the flash hot shoe. When we come behind, again, very similar bodies. You can see the button layout. Do you want to see the button layout? This is the D600, so we've got playback button and delete button, menu, white balance, quality, so change between JPEGs, RAW, etc. Zoom in, zoom out, and ISO as well. You go to the D7100, very similar again, menu, playback, delete, sorry, first, menu, white balance, quality, so again that's between your JPEGs, you know, fine, standard, whatever, what have you. ISO, this information button, I haven't even looked at what this does yet, but I presume it just brings up the info on the screen of your shooting settings. I do that with this button on the D600, but I haven't played around with the D7100 enough yet to know exactly what it does. Notice the protector, the LCD protector, that comes with the D600. The D7100 it doesn't. The D7100 screen is 3:2 aspect ratio. I don't think the D600 is. I think it's probably 4:3. And this is a newer screen as well on the D7100. Notice the viewfinders. Okay. The viewfinder on the D600 gives you a larger view basically. It makes it easier to see your subject. It makes it easier, brighter to be able to manually focus. So if you manually focus your shots, the larger viewfinder on the D600 might be useful for you, because it just allows you to see that little bit more detail and more brightly as well. I must admit, if I'm manually focusing, I'm probably doing a landscape, in which case I'll be what I do is I compose through the viewfinder, and then I check critical focus through live view, and I will be manually focusing if I'm doing that. So I don't tend to manually focus through the viewfinder. So not particularly important to me, but it might be to some of you. That is really it. They're a very similar camera. The D7100, it just feels slightly smaller in the hand, slightly lighter. You can see it in my hand now. It fits very comfortably. I've got probably average size hands, maybe slightly small, and it fits very comfortably in that. And again, it is quite light. I'm coming from various Canons, and I've also shot OMD EM5 recently, so obviously it's not as light as that, but it doesn't feel bulky. Comfortable to carry all day, I would imagine, but I'll let you know about that. The D600 definitely does have a bit more weight behind it. The grip feels slightly taller from here to here, just feels slightly taller. Probably a little bit better if you've got larger hands, but generally they feel very similar. I'll feel very comfortable switching from this camera to this camera. I don't think you'll get confused with settings, etc. You know, they're very similar. You can set them up in a very similar way. You can see that the light has come on the LCD there. That is just by flicking there. Okay, so there you go. That's a quick comparison of the Nikon D600 and D7100, just the physical comparison. I'm going to do an image test when the weather gets a little bit better. It's shucking it down here at the moment, so yeah, I'll put that up on my site, www.davidfleetphotography.com, and you can check that out later. I'll have a video review, I will have the full written review, pictures and image comparison, as well as full downloadable RAW files from my Flickr account. Okay guys, see you soon.